Good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to Jesse's Garage. Boy, I got to tell you, it's starting to get cold outside now. Man, I got my sweatshirt on, got my little hat on. By the way, what do you think about my little hat? I walked inside the house the other day, and my daughter looked at me and she goes, "What in the world do you have on?" I said, "Don't worry about it. I'm nice and warm." And she goes, "You got to take that off." And I'm thinking, you know what? I'm not going to. And you know what she told me? I got to tell you, I thought this was kind of funny. She says that a lot of her clients in her business, they actually watch the channel. And she was going to tell each and every one of them to leave a negative comment about my hat. Isn't that wrong? My own daughter would do that to me. So I'm asking you guys, what do you guys think? And maybe combat her. Maybe kind of give a different comment. But if you think it's bad, of course, put that in there. And well, I'll stop wearing it. But my goodness, I got to tell you, this little thing is keeping my head warm. Anyways, enough about the hat. All right, let's get going. So we have a cleanup right at the end of the week. We just did that other video about that tool haul, 212. In fact, it's all still sitting right here. I just thought, well, hey, let's go through and clean it up. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this bad boy right here, and we're going to clean this set up. And so I got some ideas for it. Let's see if you agree with it. So the first thing we're going to do is dip it in the bath. You already seen that 1,000 times. But let's go give it a bath first, and then we'll start working on it. Let's see what kind of condition it is. So I'll bring you back after we get it out of the bath. All right, here we go. Let's get the camera turned around, and the next time you see me, we're digging it out. All right, here we go. All right, so one more thing real quick before we go. I wanted to show you the condition of it all. So there's what the handle looks like. Pretty dirty, as you can see. So there's that. So it needs to be cleaned up. And then as we go through and look at the individual pieces, you can see the condition here as well. They're pretty non-clean, right? And so this one here, you could really tell just how bad it is there. And so we even have it inside. Check that out, man. We got some work ahead of us on that bad boy. So there's that, and then all the rest of the three are exactly the same. So they look like they're pretty greased up. And so I just wanted to show you that. And then of course the box. Now that everything's out of it, that's what that looks like out of it. Can you tell things are flying around? All right, I don't know how far we're gonna get on this box, but we're gonna at least straighten it out so it'll close. All right, so I just wanted to show you that real quick before I threw it in the bath. All right, I'll see you soon. Okay, so we are at our ultrasonic cleaner. You can tell the water's kind of brown because I've been using this bad boy up. So let's just reach in here and do a little bit of fishing. And so this is how it's coming out. So it's got a lot of that grime and junk off of it. Let's flip it around to this side, you can see. But before we do that, what we're going to do is dump it in my other. I have two ultrasonic cleaners here. One of them is dead, and the other one is this one here, which is working. And so I use this one to clean it, and then the other one is a dunk tank for water. So we'll put that over there on that side, and then we'll come over here and just keep on fishing. There should be 5. I think we got 2 out. And so you can see how they're all turning out that way. So pretty nice and clean, right? So that's good. Makes our job easier. So we got another one right here. So voila. Let's see, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I should have a handle and 2 more pieces. Now the handle, that's the one with all of that writing on it, right? And so check that out. Let's see if I can put this down for just a moment. Man, it's kind of hot, but wow, look at that. And then you flip it over, and look at that. April the 29th, 1925. Wow, man, that is pretty, right? And so put that in the water, kind of neutralize it, kind of get all that chemical off of it there. And let's see if we can find that last little piece here. And here we go. I think that's it for our pieces that we are trying to find. Now this one is seen better days, so the 7/16. So, but nevertheless, we have it here. We're going to go through and try to do our part and clean it up. Let me just make sure. Yep. So that is everything as we see it. That's how I do it. I just fish it out, and then I'll dry it off. And I like using these microfiber cloth tiles, especially the one that is more textured side. And so because I can kind of get in there between all that writing and make sure if there's anything left in there that's loose, that it'll come off. And so voila, so there's one. All right, let me get the rest out, and then I'll show you when we're getting ready to clean them up a little bit more. Okay, so we're at the wire wheel. So I'm going to take the wire wheel and just kind of briefly kind of give it a rough buff, and then we'll take it over here to our conditioning belt and kind of give it more of a polished look. So let me go ahead and do that, and let's see how we go here. Okay, let's take a look at these real quick. Sorry it's kind of loud in here. I got my air dust collector going on. So you can see some of this is not the best of shape. We're going to go through and try to blend all that back in, try to smooth it out. But I mean, overall, I think they're turning out pretty nice. And so we'll go through and do that. And then the handle is turning out pretty nice. We're just going to use our conditioning belt, and let's see what we can do. Okay, we got that pretty much cleaned up there. Let's go ahead and do a little bit while we're right here on this part, and that is going to be the handle. Let's just kind of get in between those letters just a little bit more. Okay, so those are all, that is all cleaned up there. So you can tell, man, that sucker is looking nice now, isn't it? Wow, can't wait to show you underneath the light. Okay, so that's what we have, first round. So now, let me go clean the inside of the end wrench here. Okay, so make sure we get that all cleaned up. In fact, I'll show you that because it's been a while since I've shown you what I do there. Okay, so we got this one pretty much cleaned up on the side. That's the one that looked the worst, I think. So we got that. One thing we forgot to do is do that little Dremel tool right in here. So I'm going to go do that, and then we'll get to looking at it underneath the light. Probably need to start to try to clean up the box just a little bit. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at this underneath the light. My goodness, you can tell just how clean that turned out. I didn't go all out and try to polish it up to like a mirror finish or anything, because that's not the way it came. But that is sweet, sweet, sweet. And then as we look at the individual pieces, we can see those cleaned up. You can see the milling marks right down in here. I didn't do anything in those because one, it would mess with the tolerance between how it fits into the wrench here, and I didn't want to do that. So I wanted to make sure we kept that tight fit. And plus, I just wanted to leave the character. Man, that's just cool, right? And so we got 5/8, 9/16, 1/2 inch, 7/16, and then 3/8 as we go through. So that's what we have there. Now, as we get going, let's look at this box. And so this box is seen better days for sure. So the very first thing we're going to do is to go through and clean it up. So I got me a little tub of towel, and let's just start wiping this bad boy down first of all, okay? So just going to go through and do some of that. Now, I didn't want to dump it into the ultrasonic cleaner or give it a harsh bath because it still has a little bit of that sticker inside there, and I didn't want to lose that, right? And so I wanted to kind of keep that as much as we possibly could. So, but I'm just going to try to get all this grime, some of the oil that we might be able to see on here or feel, see if we can get that out of here. And then we're going to work on trying to straighten out that box just a little bit. So the outside was the easy part. The inside is going to be a little bit more of a challenge for us, I think, because it's so small in here. But as we get going, we're going to get this bad boy cleaned out. Let's see here. Oh, part of it came off. Look at that. See, I got to be careful. Oh my goodness, I didn't want to do that. And so we're wanting just to be extremely careful on what we're doing here. So some of it's going to have to stay there because I want to leave as much as we can in that area. Man, that bums me out. Of course, I should have known it's already old, right? And so, but we're going to do it as much as we can. So get down here and clean a little bit more. Okay, so we are back and we got the box pretty much cleaned out. I didn't want to attack any more up here. I might try to barely touch it up there, but I wanted to leave as much of that sticker as we possibly can. And so now, remember what we said, it doesn't close properly. So we can see, even starting towards the back, there's a little bit of tension. I can see where that part right there is kind of pushed in. And so we can see that we're going to probably need to do some of that. And then this needs to go in, this needs to come out. And so let's just see if we can do that. I don't have a pair of flat snips that we can do that with, but we're just going to have to grab a pair of pliers and let's just see what we can do. So we'll just start playing around with that. All right, so I got my Kleins. You might have remembered when I got these at a garage sale, I think it was. And so we're going to just start playing around. Remember what we said, one of these sides was pushed in just a little bit, and so we're going to go through and try to look at that. I think it was this side right here. So we're going to work on that first. Let's kind of straighten that out. You can barely tell it's out, but we're going to try to do some of that. All right, so we got that, and let's just see here. You can tell there's a little bit of a gap now, and so there's still a little bit right there. So we're going to try to get that straightened out just a little bit. All right, so there's that one. And then let's look at, see, on this side. This side looks like it's pretty all right, but you can tell of the unevenness right there. Just right before there might be an area that it could catch potentially. So let's try to address that and straighten that out. how it is not clearing there, right? And so I think this box, because they probably didn't put the tools in there right, they went through and they jacked up the hinge, is what I think is the biggest problem with this. Okay, so I'm getting it closer. So I'm going to take my metal bending pliers here, and I can't do it right underneath the camera here, but I'm going to take it, basically grab a hold of it, kind of squeeze it together, and just kind of make sure that we are totally straight, because it was all crooked like crazy right there. So let me work on that for just a moment. Okay, so we got the box about as clean as we're going to get it from all the debris and all the grease and such like that. So I think the first thing we're going to try to do is try to shoot a little bit of primer on it. So let me grab some primer and let's get going on it. Now the green color, I don't have that exact green, but I have kind of a fluorescent green. By the time I put this primer on it, it'll kind of dull it down just a little bit. Let's see how that looks. All right, give me a second here and let me get the ventilation on, and away we go. Okay, we're just going to let that set up for just a little bit and let it dry out, and then we'll come back and see if we can give it a little bit of a sand, smooth it out, and then we can do some paint. So we'll just let it pause there for a moment. Okay, we are back. And so I wanted to kind of show you what we came up with on this product and then kind of go from there. So let's look at it. So we have this little nice green box that's here now. And so it actually closes. It's not all the way straight, but it actually does close. Remember, the bottom was pretty roached out. When we painted, when it broke it loose, it did get a little bit of chip out there. So I need to kind of go back and redo that part. And then as we get going, this is what the inside looks like. Let me pan out just a little bit so you can see it better. And so this is what it looks like there. Man, that just cleaned up real nice inside, right? And so I left that sticker. And incidentally, once I cleaned it all up, I did put a clear coat of lacquer for some metal on here. So that kind of cleaned up in that regard. So that's what we have that way. So now what I thought we would do is go through and put this bad boy together. So I got some tool liner I already cut ahead of time. And so we're going to put that in place. And so that'll go there for us. And so this one looks like it's barely a little bit long, but I think that'll be all right. And so from there, we have our piece. And you remember how that one cleaned up. Man, look at that. That is just nice, right? And so I get my fingerprints all over it, but my goodness, manufactured by Park Metalware Company Incorporated in Orchard Park, New York, it looks like. And so Xcel MultiHead wrench. And remember that patent date? Patent date of April 29th, 1925. And so, wow. So that's going to go right inside there. Man, what do you think about that? That's gorgeous, right? And so if I remember right, let's see if I can get these heads in here. So we got the 5/8, and then this one's going to go upside down because I think they only fit a certain way. 9/16, this will be the 1/2 inch. And then this one's going to go upside down. This will be the 7/16. And then we got the 3/8 right over here. And so, voila, wow. Look at that bad boy, right? So I got it a little bit of cushion with that toolbox liner in there. Then we got our latch. And so as we get going, this is what it looks like here. And so I didn't see a sticker on the outside, so I didn't put one back on. But that's what we have. Man, what do you think about that? Is that a beaut or what? All right, let me get the camera turned around. We'll finish up the video. Okay, we are back. Wow, man, that was a project, right? So let me open it back up just a little bit so you can see a little bit better view underneath, a little bit different lighting here. This is how it turned out, just like this. Oh my goodness, check that out. Is that nice or what, right? And so, man, I love that. Now, you might remember, actually, I have another set that is a larger set than this. It's like a double set because I remember it has twice as many heads in it and the box is twice as thick that we won at a different auction, actually. It wasn't actually at an auction that I had to go get. And so we have never cleaned that up. Now, the difference is this is a green box. The other one, I believe, is a black box. And so, anyways, man, I just love this little Xcel multi-head wrench set. And so it's made by Xcelite, I believe. And so when I looked up the history on that, maybe if I find it, I can put it on the video. But my goodness, this is going to be a real nice ad, especially when we get it in the shop, the new shop, and we open it up and kind of display it like that. Man, talk about killer, right? That's awesome. All right, so that's what we have for you. That was our cleanup. That's the one we chose. So I hope you liked it. And then if you have any thoughts on it, put it down in the comments. If you're new here, please hit subscribe and hit that like button. We'd really appreciate that. And until next time, we'll see you on the next video.